Hello everyone, I'm AliObviously, and today we're going to learn how to play Come Together by the Beatles. Come Together was released in October of 1969. Nice. As a lead single to the legendary album Abbey Road. I love this song so much. I've studied and researched it for years, both historically and musically, and I think I've come up with a fairly accurate rendition of it. Don't forget to hydrate. I actually released my own cover of the song a while back, but it got taken down due to copyright. It wasn't even outright deleted, it was just blocked in all countries. What? So in addition to displaying sheet music and tab on screen, I'm also going to leave a link down in the description to a website called Noteflight, where it shows a full arrangement that you can follow along with. Now this song primarily has 5 instrument parts, or whatever you want to call it. You've got drums, bass, 2 guitars, and vocals. Alright, let's get into it. First thing we're going to talk about is the song form, how it's structured, and like all the technical aspects of it. The song is in the key of D minor, technically, in 4/4 time at around 83 beats per minute. I say technically because when it gets to the chorus, it essentially switches from D minor to B minor, but the Beatles have always been weird. So as far as the song goes, it's got around 5 major sections. The intro riff, the verse, the chorus, the bridge or middle guitar solo, and the end guitar solo. On the screen right now is a visual guide of how the song is laid out. Please pause the video now or take a screenshot. This infographic would probably be very helpful for you if you're trying to navigate how to play this song. In this video, I'm going to break down how each section is played part by part, layer by layer. So let's get into it. Before you can start playing notes on your guitar, you want to make sure that it sounds right coming out of the amp. If you're playing on an acoustic, you probably don't need to worry about this, but for the electric, this is crucial. For the most part, you want a relatively clean sound on both the lead and rhythm guitar. For the rhythm guitar, on the amp itself, your settings are going to look much like this. Place the pre-gain, mids, highs, and post-gain as close to the middle of their range as you can, and the lows all the way down. The reason for this is we don't want the guitar's lower frequencies to clash or compete with that of the bass guitars. Don't apply any effects, except maybe some light reverb and delay if you'd like to. For mine, I'm turning off the delay entirely and only adding a little bit of reverb. On the guitar itself, you're going to place both tone knobs as close to 10, or the most trebly, as possible. In addition, set the next pickup gain to about 5, and the bridge pickup's gain to max. This way, when transitioning between the chorus and the other bits of the song, all we have to do to get the tone we want is to flip the switch from neck to bridge and back again. The lead guitar is going to be set up very similarly, except we may want to lower the gain just a little bit. The bass guitar should fill in the bits that the guitar lacks. Place pre-gain around 2 and post-gain around 5 again, but place low at its max, mid around 2, and high all the way down. The bass in this song needs to be very boomy and driving and all the way up front. To be honest, I don't understand what all the knobs on the bass guitar itself do, so just fiddle around with them until you've got that nice boomy sound, without overdoing it. The most distinct effect on the vocals is that tape echo. Set the number of delays to 8 and the delay time to 0.108 seconds, and you'll be Gucci. Alright, so now that you've learned how to set up all your equipment properly, next step is to actually play it. The intro riff is a good place to start. The bass line here is very easy, very recognizable, and repeats itself for practically the entire song. If you can read tab or sheet music, here it is on screen now. I will warn you, if you don't have calluses developed, this may become very painful very quickly, as all you do is slide around all over the place. Start off by plucking at fret 5 on the A string twice. Then you're going to slide all the way up to 12. Immediately pluck 10 on the thinnest string, the G string, and then hit the 12th fret again, this time on the D string. Slide back down to somewhere around the 6th or 7th fret, and then the cycle continues. Listen to the song for the rhythm to see how it's played. I highly encourage you to pause this video and practice each part over and over again until you get it before moving on. As for the guitars, since this song is designed to have 2 guitarists, one of whom is singing, this part will be played by the lead guitarist, while the rhythm guy is clapping his hands and asking to be shot. With the switch in the neck position, you're going to palm mute ever so slightly on the strings. What this means is you're taking the meat of your hand and deadening the sound slightly, which gives a softness effect to the guitar, preventing the strings from ringing out completely. Bar across the 3 lowest strings on the 10th fret. Pluck the E string twice. Pluck the A string and hammer on from 10 to 12. And then pluck the D string. It should sound like this all together. Next is the vocal part. This part is very percussive, and if you set up your delay properly, sounds pretty cool. You clap twice while saying, "shoot me," and it has a pretty interesting effect. Shoot me. Shoot me. Make sure that you're very breathy with it, and you really emphasize the sh. Make it almost sound like it's not even a word. Because to be frank, there's a lot of people who've heard this song a million times and had no idea that that's what he was saying. The drums are really complex. They're pretty complicated. If none of what I'm about to say makes sense to you, don't worry. Just find a seasoned drummer, show him this clip, maybe the sheet music, he'll figure it out, don't worry. But so here's what you do. So lightly tap the crash cymbal and pump the kick drum twice. Hit a relaxed hi-hat in a triplet pattern before tightening it on an 8th note. And then do essentially a triplet fill of descending toms before landing on the floor tom on a final 8th note. It should sound like this. And layering everything else on top of that, we get this. This intro riff is repeated 4 times in a row before each verse, except for the middle solo where it's only played twice, but is then completed with another 2 just prior to the 4th and final verse. Next section, the verse. The verse is made up of 3 chords: D minor for 4 measures, A minor for 2 measures, G major for 1, followed by a no chord measure, 8 measures in total. During the D minor measures, the bass guitar is going to play the same intro riff. Easy, right? On the other measures of the verse, everything on the bass is going to be played on the thickest E string. First pluck 5 twice, then hold 8, go back to 5 and slide down to 3. After you've repeated that, pluck and hold 3 for the G measure. And that's it, it's pretty simple. Since the singer is no longer clapping, he has full use of his guitaring hands, and so is going to play this chunka-chunka rhythm with straight 8th notes. This is very common in blues, where you do a sort of power chord, but you raise the 5th up 2 half steps to a 6th. In other words, hold your index finger on the 10th fret of the thickest E string, your middle finger on the 12th fret of the A string, and alternate putting your pinky down on 14 and coming back up with every other note. For this, you want to more heavily palm mute to really get a percussive chunka-chunka going on. When you get to the A minor measure, slide down and do the same thing, with the index finger on fret 5. On G, slide to 3 and only hit once. During this little bit, you have a short rest. It's crucial that you flip the switch from the neck pickup to the bridge pickup in preparation for the chorus. However, do not flip the switch for the first verse, since it isn't followed by a chorus. The starting note for the singer is F. They pretty much hold on to F for all the notes, only deviating to do this pentatonic move using notes D and C. On the A minor chord, they go down a half step from F to E, only to return to a steady F for the final G and no chord measures. The backup singer is going to be singing a perfect 4th below the lead singer, hitting only C and A before going up to meet the lead singer on a unison on the final 2 bars. Here, I've panned the lead vocal in the left ear and the backup in the right, so you can isolate it if you have stereo headphones. He wear no shoes shiny, got toe jam football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he say, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. The drummer should have a steady beat on each 8th note, using only the bass drum and alternating between high toms and the floor tom. On the G measure, hit the crash and do this heartbeat bass drum pattern. It should sound like this all together. Now for the chorus! This section is probably the easiest in the song, at least in terms of technical requirements. It's 2 bars long, and it's 3 super easy chords. B minor, A, and G. All 3 guitars are simply hitting 8th note power chords. Note that the rest time for the guitarist after the chorus is a lot quicker than the one before it. So be very quick on that switch. The bass guitar, since it isn't designed to do chords, simply plays the bass note, going from 7th fret for the first 3 beats, down to the 5th fret, and then down to the 3rd fret, then back up to A. The vocals on this section can be a bit tricky, as you're having to modulate essentially from D minor to D major. Come together right now over me. The backup singer's part is especially difficult. I recommend learning this tab and just singing along to it over and over to get the melody of it stuck in your head. The drummer is simply going to alternate between the kick and the snare on every beat. Super simple, super basic. It should sound like this. Alright, time for the bridge, or middle 8 solo. After the second chorus, you'll play the intro riff twice before going into this solo bit. Part of the Beatles' formula for songwriting during their early days was to include what they called the middle 8, or 8 bars of something that still fit with the song but was different enough to prevent people from getting bored. The first 4 bars are on the D minor chord, followed by 4 bars on A minor. The bass guitar is going to be playing steady 8th notes, first on fret 10, then on fret 5. The rhythm guitar is going to do the chunka chunka rhythm, again starting on 10, and then moving down to 5. You have a bit more creative freedom with the first half of the solo. This part can be either played on some sort of Rhodes or electric piano, in which case you'll be playing just an F and a C somewhere in the middle to this rhythm. If you're doing a 4-piece group, you can probably do this on lead guitar as well. For the second 4 measures, you'll be playing this on lead guitar. Bend up a whole step from the 12th fret of the G string, then do this weird bend down pull off bit. For the drums in this section, you'll do this rhythm, a standard rock drum beat. Below this left-right crash pattern. Essentially, you'll hit each crash cymbal twice per beat, with a bit more gusto in the first hit. In the 4th and 8th measures, you're going to throw in some sort of a fill. I'm still pretty new at drumming, so I just kind of improvise the ones you'll see here. At the end of the bridge, you have 2 bars of this modified intro riff. Pretty much the only instrument playing here is the bass. The drums hold onto a crash, the lead sustains the last bend up, and in the arrangement on Note Flight, I have the piano do a funky little thing, but what you choose to do is entirely up to you. It should sound like this all together. One more verse, one more chorus, one more set of intro riffs, and finally we land on the end solo, which goes on forever until we fade to black. Every instrument other than the lead guitar here just does the same thing over and over again. The drums do the same pattern as in the middle 8. The rhythm guitar chunka chunkas on 10 to infinity and beyond. The bass literally just holds the note D. To keep it spicy, you can switch between 10 on the E string and 5 on the A string if you really want, which is what I usually do. Up to you. As far as the actual guitar solo goes, it's kind of hard to explain. You just gotta kind of sit there with the tab and go over it over and over again until you got it. The hardest part is remembering the order of riffs and doing that whole step bend on fret 20. That one's a killer. If your guitar doesn't even have a 20th fret, consider playing the entire thing down an octave. If you really want to, just learn the gist of it and just wing it until the curtains close. If you've made it this far, then you've proven your dedication to learning this song. It's a fun, easy to learn, but difficult to master song that I love, and I've taught every band that I've ever played in. If you or your band learned this song thanks to me, then please send me a DM on Instagram or shoot me an email or something, because I would love to hear it. It's taken me like 4 days to make this video, hence why I'm wearing a different shirt and my stubble has come out a little bit. So please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I put in a lot of work in this video and I would really appreciate it. I don't want to see this video flop. Now, this isn't really very similar to any of the other videos I have on my channel, and I don't really plan on going in this direction in the future. I'm still really learning the ropes of being a YouTuber and trying to see where I fit. But I hope one day I can look back at this and just laugh at how cringy it is, or even marvel at how far I've come. I wouldn't be making videos like this if it weren't for you guys, so thank you so much. I've got tons of videos planned for the future. This is one, just an idea for a video I had sort of tucked away for a while, and I knew that I had to put forth the self-discipline to make sure that it got made. Thank you so much for watching this far. If you want to listen to a full version of the cover that I made that YouTube took down of Come Together, I'll leave a SoundCloud link down in the description. If that gets taken down for some reason, I'll also leave a link to the file on Google Drive. I would put that video into this video, but I don't really want to risk getting this video taken down as well. Again, I cannot overstate how much I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for everything, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.